Hello, members. Tom Morrison here from the great national offices in Nashville, Tennessee. We're excited to see you today to talk about one of the top 3 pain points that every member tells us when we talk to them about what do you struggle with. They always talk about knowledge transfer from the seasoned employees to the younger managers, bridge that gap when they retire. They talk about hiring people, but one of the biggest things every member is struggling with is access to quality business insurance for somewhat affordable premiums. And affordability is always through the lens of perspective, right? I mean, some people see $100,000 as affordable, some people do not, but getting quality coverage and just getting access to it, because insurance companies are walking away from many heat treaters these day and age. And we're excited to be partnering with Dochterman Insurance. Started last year as they were Precision Manufacturing Insurance Services. They've gone back to the roots of Dochterman Insurance. They're going to talk about that today. But before we get into that, I just want to let everybody know in the bottom you have the chat box. I'm going to enable that. And if they say something you'd like to ask a question about, you make sure to make sure you ask the question. I'll be monitoring the chat box and I'll ask them your question. So you're going to get a lot out of today. They're going to show you some tips on what you need to do to make yourself more attractive, share with you some of the coverages that are going on, and the new program that is launching April 1st for MTI members to jump into, that's built specifically for the heat treating manufacturing world. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. So Jonathan, let's have you and Jamie introduce yourselves and kind of where you're from and what your role is at Dochterman Insurance.
So hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan Dochterman. I'm president and co-founder of Dochterman Insurance Services. Been in the business now for 20 plus years. And, my focus has always been in handling commercial lines for our manufacturers, property, liability, auto, and things like that. I reside here in Southern California, married with my 5 kids, and just enjoy building my business and raising my family. So that's my focus.
Jamie?
Wonderful. And I'm Jamie Ausec. I'm here at Dochterman Insurance, and my role here is the VP of Strategic Growth. So I may have seen some of you out at different MTI events. I like to travel and get to meet members whenever possible. Also reside here in Southern California. I have 2 teenage girls, which is risky in and of itself. And just happy to be with you here today. I'm celebrating also my 20th year as an insurance broker this year. So thank you so much, Tom.
Well, Jamie and Jonathan, thank y'all for being here. Thank you for introducing yourselves. You can tell that you are very family-oriented. And Jamie, you've been to many of our MTI national meetings, and it's a very family-oriented group. And it's nice to have that camaraderie because you understand the pains and stuff that they're going through as business owners to try and really protect their families, their employees, and their local communities. Because working in a heat treat plant can be safe, but there's a lot of fire going on, which we're going to talk about today. So Jonathan, let's jump right off with you. Share a little bit about the Dochterman story and what makes you different from any other insurance company out there that our members could look to do business with.
Yeah, so my father and I started our business in 2010. My background's always been working in the insurance industry. But prior to insurance, my father has owned several metal and plastic shops in his past. And so he's a prior shop owner and definitely favors working with manufacturers because of that. And our vision as a company is to be the leading insurance firm for American manufacturers across all 50 states. What makes us different than any other brokerage out there is that manufacturer insurance is all we do. 100% of our resources are dedicated to serving the metal and plastic and heating industries. And we've built exclusive programs for these industries that are not available to any other brokerage. So our offerings are unique. Our expertise is specialized, and we're very passionate about serving our clients.
So how long again have y'all been, you've been serving a lot of the California market as well, and you've been serving the heat treat community specifically for a while as well. Can you just kind of tap into that?
Yeah. We've been working since the inception of our business, and even prior to that, I was working at a large insurance firm, Marsh in downtown LA, and my father was working at the Lever Group, another large insurance firm. And he specialized in manufacturers prior to us starting our firm. And he had several heat treaters already. So when we started our firm, the heat treaters came with us. So we've been working with them for over 15 years now.
So what are some of the, I know you got, I mean, you got a lot of our clients, because we're going to talk about them a little bit about how much we've written, but last year when we launched. So what do you see are some of the big challenges when you talk to heat treaters, visit their businesses? And Jamie, you can chime in here too. I mean, you've been to our national meetings and are talking to them one-on-one in person. What are kind of those challenges you see?
So number one issue in the insurance world that heat treaters are facing is finding property coverage. And the main reason for that is that catastrophic losses across the U.S. have quadrupled over the past few years. And this has basically three negative impacts for heat treaters. First off, since carriers have paid out more money due to these catastrophic losses more than ever, even though your specific shop may not be in an area that has experienced that catastrophic loss, carriers raise pricing across the board to pay for that loss. Another reason for that is that all carriers out there purchase what's called reinsurance from other insurance companies. So if, for instance, you buy a property limit of $20 million from a standard carrier, that carrier may be on the hook for the first $5 million, but the carrier has actually insured with reinsurance the remaining $15 million. And since there's been an insurgence of catastrophic losses, the reinsurance carriers have all been hit hard by this, thus raising pricing and premium for the carriers to buy reinsurance, which again sheds over to the clients actually paying for higher property rates. And the third thing is, because carriers are gun shy in general to provide property coverage, heat treaters are innately a higher risk than an office building or a warehouse, thus not being an attractive type of business for a standard carrier. And another challenge that heat treaters are facing also is that it's such a specialized service in the manufacturing industry that most brokers and carriers are not familiar with your specific risks. So since brokers are unable to explain your risk profile to a carrier accurately, when carriers are not comfortable with a risk, they won't want to write your business. So these are the main issues. It's the property coverage.
So Jamie,
Yeah, Tom, I would
Jamie.
echo that. Sorry, Tom. I would just echo that. And most of the, very candid conversations that I've had with some heat traders at the events is really just, getting non-renewed or having huge price increases in their overall premiums to where it just, the question we get honestly is, how can we continue to sustain this over time? So that's one of the biggest challenges that I've heard echoed amongst that community.
Well, that's what I'm so excited about this program, because I know last year, literally, I had a member who I answered a blind email from him. He just said, Tom, this is so-and-so from XYZ Heat Treat. I'm having a horrible time trying to get insurance on my renewal that went up astronomically. And could you point us to me? You got any help? And we had just come on with your group. And I said, you know what? I have somebody that can maybe save your day. And he texted me back. He emailed me 30 days later and said, Tom, I cannot thank you enough because of that blind email. I took a shot in the dark emailing you, and y'all saved him over $100 grand on his insurance, on his annual premium from his renewal. It was remarkable. So I think the savings is real, and the things y'all are doing is great. That's why I'm excited about this new program tied to a company that understands the world of heat treating and how to underwrite and sell that risk. So Jamie, I know we wrote a little over $1 million in premium in 23 that got a good jump start and a good base of members in property and liability. So what do you think makes the program attractive to the heat treater?
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons it's been so attractive is that many of these heat treaters were really just having a tough time, as we just talked about, finding coverage, and specifically for their property insurance. So we've talked to so many shops, again, that are being canceled, non-renewed, or their incumbent broker just couldn't, frankly, find a carrier market to place them. Because some of the traditional markets have gotten completely out of heat treating because it scares them. And when you have fire in a building, it's not something that a lot of underwriters feel comfortable writing, right? So much of the success that we've had placing, these MTI members is really just by finding the appropriate carriers for them, whether or not they fit in our specialized program. Sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't, but we are always able to find them a more competitive option, and typically an option that has enhanced coverage. Oftentimes there's coverage levels we feel are necessary, and we know the carriers that have the appetite and the palate for that we could put them in front of. And also, I think It's been more attractive because we have more and more members coming to us requesting quotes. We always like to tell people it's non-disruptive to your current relationship. Your incumbent broker will not be notified. And that scares people because there is loyalty there, and we understand that. But the word of mouth amongst the members of MTI, they're big on sharing knowledge. There's a camaraderie there, and a comfort in sharing knowledge that will help them do business better. So I think that's what has made it most attractive over this past year specifically.
Yeah, so I know we got the new program coming out here. So can you give us some details on types of coverages and things that's going to be a part of this program that really is going to make it unique outside of the regular confines of what they can get?
Yeah, so Tom, I mean, notably, this has taken us a little bit longer than we had hoped for. And one of the reasons is just the inherent nature and the risk associated with heat treat companies at large. So it took us a good amount of time and effort and just due diligence to find a partner that truly has the capacity and the appetite for these groups, and to offer these competitive options at the most comprehensive level to our members. And gratefully, we have done that, and it's by large part to Jonathan and Michael and the understanding that they have specific to heat treaters. We say it's built by manufacturers for manufacturers because it's really been a compilation of over the years, what do we know needs to be in these forms? What do we need to make sure is covered? And it's been modified and enhanced by the claims that we've seen, and influenced by our customers' needs and requests over the years. So part of the reason I think it's important for everyone to understand, that we are able to accomplish this is we actually are putting heat treaters in with a good amount of business in other lower risk industries like plastic manufacturing or metal machine shops and precision manufacturing companies that do have lower risk. It's the law of large numbers, right? We're spreading out the risk level to get to a more competitive level because we are spreading out that risk. So it's important to note that this isn't a buying risk pool or a captive. It's actually a standard contract between you and the carrier. We've just negotiated the exclusive rights with our carrier to sell it. So for instance, Tom, I know that we've covered this, I think, previously when we initially launched our partnership. But in terms of coverage, we see oftentimes heat treaters are lacking property of others coverage, which means that all material that flows through your shops is typically owned by others. And we don't really see that something that's covered in the policies that we review when we're doing our initial analysis. So we're really excited to formally offer this to our members, knowing that we've got enhancements available for you. So it's not just achieving a better price, but it really is achieving a more enhanced richness of coverage.
Sure.
And we're excited about that.
Absolutely. So is there anything else that you see within the policies, the forms and stuff that's kind of a difference maker within what you normally might see out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's coverage enhancements like, typical policies exclude the foundation, everything below the foundation. Okay. But in our form, we have a lot of heat treaters that, might have tanks in the ground. So we're covering those kind of losses. We're including equipment breakdown, coverage like that, even for these heat treaters and their tanks. So there's a lot over the years, we've modified the coverages as we've experienced losses with our clients and, added coverage as we go. So, yeah, it's a great forum for our shops, and it'll be a good thing for them.
So now so we've talked about the launch of the new program, our relationship. Now let's get down to where the rubber meets the road for a lot of heat treaters. A lot of heat treaters are not written by, they're either canceled, premiums raised, or not written by insurance companies because of certain things they see, like fire on websites and stuff, and other things going on. So and Jamie, I know you did a great job at our Canadian meeting last year in Niagara Falls, really communicating these points. But really, how does a heat treater, given the risk they are, make themselves attractive to the underwriter? I know what I love about how y'all approach this concept is you're not trying to sell insurance to our members. You're trying to make them more attractive and sell the risk to the underwriter, which is a totally different thing. So we really have an advocate. I feel like we have an advocate for our members on our team. So how do they make themselves more attractive?
Yeah, so to answer the question, you first have to understand that carriers are all in the business of making money, just like you guys, just like us, right? And they collect premium to transfer risk of loss to them thus providing a financial backstop for risks that arise in your shop. So because of this, they want to make sure that their assets that they're insuring are being protected, okay, by you guys. They want to work with businesses that are willing to invest in their culture, in safety practices, and property protections. And this is when these things are in place, you become more attractive to an underwriter to write your business. So I wanted to share the screen real quick to give you a. Jamie shared this slide at her Niagara Falls event. But like I said, carriers are in the business of making money, right? They invest money and put up collateral, right, to insure your business. So if you were going to put up $5 million of your own money, okay, what kind of building would you want to insure here? Would you want to insure an office building, a warehouse, or heat treating facility, right? So we're asking these carriers to invest and protect assets from a heat treating facility, right? So the trick is then what do we do to make yourself the most attractive to these underwriters, okay? So if you take anything away from today, here's 3 nuggets, okay, for you to make some changes or improvements in your business, okay? First and foremost, immediately revisit your website and make sure that your website reflects what you actually do in the shop, okay? Since we live in a digital world, the first place an underwriter will go to view your business is your website. Also, you know, cool pictures of open flames coming out of your machines, I know is cool, but is not ideal for them to view. It's pretty much terrifying for them to see open flames in your building. So consider
And Jonathan, let me interject really quickly there, because the first thing that we ask people is this a picture from your shop? Like, is this actually at your facility? Is this what you do? And oftentimes it's not. They're taking, their webmaster took pictures from something else or somewhere else to make it look cool on the website. So it's really important that, as you said, you revisit that to see if that's the best representation of you.
Yeah, I viewed a shop, I don't know, a year ago, and it had probably 100 tanks in this, you know, giant facility with hard hats and sparks going everywhere. And I said, this is not your shop. And they said, no, it's not. So it's a good thing to put, you know, pictures of your actual shop and what you're doing. And also consider putting pictures on your website of industries you serve, which would indicate to a potential customer that you can handle their type of industry. So for instance, like on our site, we don't put insurance pictures, and nobody would ever call us. Our site reflects, you know, metal and plastic and heat treater type pictures. So the second place an underwriter will go to view your business is Google Maps, okay? The condition of your building greatly matters. As we discussed, property coverage is tough. If Google Maps has images of your building with vandalism, broken windows, parts of machines laying out in the open, damaged roof, overgrowth of bushes or trees, an underwriter will likely not be willing to write your business. If your building is in bad shape, it reflects to an underwriter that you might be, you know, slipping in other areas as well, like safety or internal fire suppression systems. So if you don't already do this, make sure the exterior and interior of your shop is in good shape and clean condition. Invest in a new roof, patch the one you have, paint the outside of your building, clean up any debris or material you have outside, and fix any, you know, broken parts of your building. In the long run, you'll end up saving money in premium by investing in your business and building than not doing it and then paying higher premium rates. I think it's a better investment to invest in your building and people than, you know, and then pay more premium. The third takeaway I would like to impose on you all is to have fire suppression systems in your shops. Carriers always ask us these questions, and given the nature of your business, with the usage of high-tech machines, carriers are concerned about how you are protecting your assets that they are insuring for millions and millions of dollars. So some important fire suppression systems can include, I've seen automatic shutoffs for overheating, alarms for overheating, okay? I've seen what's great is these CO2 or nitrogen systems that flood machines if a fire starts. Fire extinguishers specifically for your business. Annual fire department visits are really good. Access to a nearby fire hydrant. Specific oil sponges and blankets for spillage is a really good thing. And last but not least, sprinkler systems in your building. Now, I know water is not the best thing to put out a heat treating fire. I'm very aware of that. But if you have all the other things, other systems in place, the sprinklers will act as a protection for the roof and then potentially your walls. So I know it's a little controversial on the sprinkler system, but carriers always ask about that. And if you can, it's certainly a good idea.
Have you ever seen anybody have in any company have a sprinkler system that's there, so when you look, you see it, but it's not tied to water?
Yes, we have.
For insurance purposes only.
More than one.
That goes through my mind as I'm thinking of somebody, it's just somebody out there. That's funny. So
It's a great prop in a shop, right?
right. But hey, those are great tips. And now quantify, Jonathan, a little bit. A lot of the stuff costs a lot of money to get done, but then you also have what's the balance of insurance premiums you're paying versus the investment in the company. So kind of talk about that balance.
Yeah, I mean, heat treaters that don't have any fire suppression systems in place or don't, actively work on protecting their assets are going to pay hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for premium. And so, if you're willing to pay, $200,000 to $500,000 for insurance premium, instead of paying, $50,000 to $80,000 if you had all the protections in place, you could be saving, a couple $100,000 a year in premium. And a lot of these shops also that don't have these protections in place aren't able to buy full property limits for their building. If their building is worth $5 million, the contents is worth, $15 million, and the limit really should be $20 million. Carriers that have these heat treaters that aren't willing to put these procedures in place may end up spending a couple $100,000 for only $1 million or $2 million limit, right? When they should be insuring for $20 million. So I understand for some businesses, investing money in your building can be a challenge. But in the long run, it really ends up saving you money in the long run. And then you have a better building and protected assets and things like that. And like we've talked about, Tom, I've been seeing a shift lately in the younger generation now taking over the businesses from grandpa or dad, or even younger engineers starting up a new heat treating facility, which is very cool. And I've been noticing the younger generation really does care about the shape of their shop, the condition of their shop, safety, and all that. And what I'd love to see over the next few years is to have shops really modify what they're doing and focus on these kind of things, so that heat treaters don't end up, don't continue to be like the redheaded stepchild in the manufacturer insurance world, and actually participate in good coverage and better premium and appropriately access these things, because again, they are doing the things that carriers would like to see to protect their assets. So
I kind of look at that investment kind of like everybody, even any industry can relate to changing over to a new data system, because you got downloads, you got uploads, you got data, you got connections, now you got AI, and we all want to do that, right? But it's expensive and a laborious process. I mean, we did it here at MTI. The thing that set us forward in changing over to our new association management system, which manages all of our member data, was we've been with the same one since 2008, and they said, hey, we're sunsetting the project in 6 months. It's like, all right, time to move.
Right.
And I think what you're saying is the time to move is not when it's too late. Make that investment today so you can get into premiums as soon as possible that are more affordable and can save you long term.
Yeah, I mean, and this, by the way, also applies to, other lines of coverage. We've seen a lot of work comp claims, in the heat treating world as well. Burns, we've seen people fall into tanks and other various things. And so it's like you either can pay a lot of money in work comp premium because you have continual losses over the years, and
right,
carriers will price you out accordingly, expecting losses. or you can invest in a safety director, or implementing monthly safety meetings and walkthroughs of your equipment, and these kind of things, lockout, tagout, and various things to prevent work comp injuries from happening. I would rather see that happening and heat treaters spend less money on insurance and better their business, right? The focus and investment should be on their business, not wasting it on premium.
Right. So anybody that's watching today or sees this in the future, so what I know a lot of people think, well, I got to wait till January 1 when my insurance renews. So talk about a little bit, if they want to get started today, how they get started today, if they want to at least get that free quote to see, man, does this make sense to jump in with MTI's program?
Yeah, so any members, any heat treaters out there can get a proposal from us any time of year. If a member decides to work with us midterm, we can simply cancel their old policy and they'd get a return premium owed to them and bind coverage the same day with no lapse in coverage. So we really can do it, Tom, any time of year, any day. You do not have to wait till your policy renews. We can look at it anytime.
So, well, members, the easiest way for you to get in touch is you can go out to our website, heattreat.net. That's heattreat.net, and you click on the benefits tab and click business insurance program. And that's got information what we talked about here today. This video will be on there as of tomorrow. And at the bottom is a link on the side right. You can say get quote, and all that does is it pulls up a form that you complete, and they get a copy of, Jonathan and Jamie get a copy of the information that they need, at least at that point, to make a phone call to you and stuff. That's the easiest way to track them down. And they're really good about getting to you quickly, because we know some members got a timeline to get this stuff done. So that's the easiest way to tag in. So Jonathan and Jamie, any last words that you have for the members that are listening or will see this webcast?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, again, to reiterate, like we've talked about, property coverage is a very challenging thing. And I would really like to see us revamp this whole issue and really see members work actively to improve their businesses and improve their service. And again, I would love to see reductions across the board for all members. We're seeing that is a common thread for us, that we are saving premium for our members. But like I said, when we do connect with you and do have that discussion, we will ask all those questions. And the more information you give us, the better that we can sell your risk to our underwriters. So the better our narrative is, the more attractive we can make you be, the better premium we can get you. So we look forward to working with as many of you as would like to reach out to us. And thank you, Tom, for your time.
Awesome. And I know, Jamie, you'll be at our spring meeting. So members, you can get forward to look to see Jamie firsthand. She's very informative. Like I say, she gave a great presentation at the Canadian meeting last year, and it was awesome. So members, very, very soon, I hope you look to take advantage. It's free to get your quote and find out how much they can save you, if they can save you money and get you good coverage and access to coverage. And within the next couple of weeks, you're going to be getting from MTI our new membership installation guide that's going to have the 8 programs. When I look at the members that are really active and progressing, there's 8 programs that MTI is providing that hit specific pain points of like closing the knowledge gap, workforce development, minimizing the uncertainty in the marketplace when you're making business and budgeting and management labor decisions. So you're going to get that. And the challenge is that you go down that list of 8 and say, which ones am I not tied into? Because if you're not tied into these 8, you're literally leaving money and productivity on the table and leaving resources that you can really be taking advantage of, not only for you, but your core management team as well, your quality director, your safety manager. There's so much that MTI is doing. Our leadership, our board has done a great job of putting things together for your benefit. So I hope you take advantage of that when you see that. And as I always say, we love serving you and everybody in the membership, and we will see you soon at the spring meeting. And have a great day. And you're not just strong, you're MTI strong, and we'll see you soon. Have a good day. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, everyone.